It's been a year, so I wanted to make a small video just to say thank you, as well as to retrospectively look at the channel and its future. Honestly, I wasn't sure if I'd make any more videos after my first two. They kind of came out during a period of major art block for me where I felt like I wasn't really doing much of anything in my life. So I just welled up all my thoughts and feelings about Jump and put them into something. I'm really happy with the initial reception on those videos, and a lot of people seem to stick around from them. At first, I wasn't really sure if the history video would ever be a series or anything like that, but the reception was so good, and I enjoyed the process of making them and the idea of documenting Jump's history. So eventually, I've made 11 videos in that series, and I'm really happy that I've kept going with it. The fact that I'm covering things like Dragon Ball now is pretty insane, since it started with manga I'd never even heard of initially. And I think a lot of people are happy with that too, just learning all the old manga, finding out about them, and then seeing all of these big things like Dragon Ball and seeing how they kind of fit into Jump's history. It just puts everything into perspective in a really interesting way. The fact that some of those videos still get comments and people say stuff like how much they love the series and how much they've learned from it is really cool, and I'm glad so many people are open to learn about Jump's history so much. I've also improved with these videos a lot as well. There was some audio issues at the beginning, my mic wasn't very loud, and I think my presentation overall has improved and is more consistent now, which I really like. I'm also happy with the X-Files. I think the name is super fun. It's a nod to the X-Files, which is one of my favorite things ever. But it also lets me talk about axed manga, like their authors, how they potentially failed. And I also get insight from other people by doing the plots and stuff, which I really like. So it's a really nice condensed little look at a series, looking at lots of different angles and things. And I think a lot of the time when people talk about Axe series, there's a lot of negativity surrounding them. And I try to shy away from that. I try to be a bit more kind of reflective and analytical maybe, or just kind of state the facts as they are, as well as just trying to give the authors the benefit of the doubt, trying to be nice to them and stuff like that. I really hope my respect for the authors and their works comes through, even if the series itself isn't very good, like in the SWAT video. I still have some respect for the author, even though what he's made isn't great. The other Jump videos as well tend to get a lot of traction. I love covering all these weird and wacky little topics. The Gold Future Cup is one of my favorite ones. I'm glad that video kind of hit it off with people. And then the genre kind of mini videos, the horror, mecha, those ones are really fun to do as well. And I'd like to do more of those, as I think they're fun to kind of explore and just to cherry pick a few Jump series to talk about. Gundam, outside of Jump, is another massive series I really love and I like talking about. I've made a few videos and a lot of passion goes into them. Even like the smallest ones, like the one on Twilight Axis, but the ones covering like Soletta and Mirian is one of my favorite videos, I think. I'd love to talk about it more in the future. I think doing like a G Gundam video would be sick. And it would kind of, if I labeled it as like the shonen of Gundam, maybe more people would be interested in the series, or maybe just G Gundam and watch it, which I think would be cool. There's also a bunch of miscellaneous videos I've made as well, which have been great. The Lassie video being one of my favorites I've ever made, even though it's the least watched video on the channel. It's just a nice little video on a pretty obscure manga, and I hope a few people watch it and just kind of enjoy. I showed it to my granny and she liked it, so yeah, I'm happy. But yeah, even though there's been some difficulties, overall I'm really happy with all the videos I've made. I'm really proud of myself and just how far I've come. Even though like a couple of them I could have done better with, like the sexist one, there could have been a lot more, I guess, extrapolation and explanation there, but maybe it wasn't a topic I should have touched on, even though I think it's important too, and it was interesting. But enough about the channel so far. What about the future? History of Jump is something guaranteed. I'd say that's kind of a priority. If all my time is sucked away and I'm limited in what I get to make, I will try to focus on the history videos, because it's kind of a long-term life project for me now. The next few might take a little bit longer to get out, since I'm a little burnt out on just old manga and I have to cover a few big series coming up. like City Hunter, Sakigake Otokojuku, and Saint Seiya, which between them all I think probably adds up to like 1,000 chapters of raw manga. I might not read all of them, like every single chapter, but I still will have to read quite a bit. Axe Files as well, we're kind of stacked for the moment. We've got a few in the pipeline. The Omega Doki Zoo video has already been recorded. That was the March Discord poll winner, so that should come out soonish. And then we have Blue Dragon Route Grand, which is the April one we're reading through now. A substantial portion of the script has actually already been done, so that should come out in early May, hopefully. I want to do Aliens Area at some point now that Fusai Naba's new Necromance has been announced. It's a series I've always wanted to cover since it's about aliens and it's kind of like Shonen Jump's little X-Files, so it's perfect for the series. And after that, I'll be covering Takama Gahara at some point in May, hopefully, because I'll be doing a kind of collab with some group. You'll find out in the future. So it'll let me kill 2 stones there. So that'll be just an extra one, I guess. And speaking of collabs, there might also be something kind of smaller from me as part of something a lot bigger, hopefully in the future as well, which you'll see when it comes out. For new stuff, this might be a little out of left field, but it is mecha related. I'd like to do a short video on Evangelion. I have some ideas of what I want to talk about, which I don't see many people kind of touch on. It probably won't be a very long video, just a nice little personal one. Also, other magazines, this gets asked quite a lot. I always talk about Weekly Shonen Jump, and people are like, well, what about Weekly Shonen Sunday, Magazine, Champion? I do read other manga other than Jump, but Jump just takes up so much of my time. Doing the history videos, it's going to take literal years for me to finish, and I'm so passionate about it, I want to do this. But I might do a Rivals of Shonen Jump video for now, kind of just briefly going over each one, maybe their biggest series, some of the series I've read from them. I think that could be really interesting, but it will need a lot of research, so it's not something I think I can just pull out soon or anything, but it's something I definitely want to do. There's also some other loose stuff I want to talk about, like X-Files. I'm not sure the seasonal tier lists really work, plus over time I've just watched more and more of the series, so I might just do one massive video on it, or just a video saying like why you should watch it. And the same goes with its kind of sister series Millennium. I love both of them and I really just wanted people to check them out. Guilty Gear is another big one I've wanted to talk about for quite a while. The ideas I had initially are just way too big, so I'm workshopping a kind of smaller video for that, I guess. I don't think it'll end up being small, but it will be way smaller than what I had planned originally, like talking about every single character in Strive. It's just insanity in one video. I also still need to edit the top 100 game stream too. It's big. It'll take time. I'm sorry for the wait on that, but the VOD is still on YouTube, so you can watch that whenever you want. Going back to Gundam as well, there's a couple of smaller Gundam videos I want to do. Videos on protagonists, or its female cast, or its LGBT representation, which I think would make for a really fun short video. There was also a Gundam Iceberg video I was working on and researching for, but then in the middle of researching, someone else made one, which killed my momentum for it. Which is, oh well, like maybe in the future I'll feel like doing one again, but right now that's kind of killed, I guess. I also want to maybe bust out the Blue Lock is Gay video for Pride Month. I think that would be funny since that's been rolling around my head in a while. As well as like a Shonen Jump is Gay video, since I have a lot of gay thoughts. I mean thoughts on male relationships, kind of friendships, and the kind of inherent romantic moments they can sometimes lead to. Think like Sasuke and Naruto like kissing and stuff. I think there's something there worth exploring and discussing, and it would be pretty fun. So yeah, overall there's a ton of ideas in my head for videos and I've written them down and stuff, so I don't think I'll run out of anything in a long time. Also, as thanks alongside this video for the first anniversary, I wanted to do a smaller worst of Shonen Jump video, since a top 10 worst Shonen Jump manga video has been floating around for a while. Usually I'm pretty positive, so I'm gonna shift a little bit, at least this once, and be kind of mean. It'll also be a bit more explorative than just a top 10, I hope. Thank you so much if you've been watching my videos. Thanks for liking them, sharing, subscribing, and just chatting in the comments or on Discord with me. It's been a blast this past year. I've also set up a Patreon. I haven't actually gotten any money from YouTube. It's a whole annoying thing with ID in the UK, but honestly, just kind of screw it. I'm gonna keep these videos ad-free, and if people want to support me, they can through Patreon. There are 2 tiers right now, one for $1 and one for $3, and you get the usual thanks in the credits of future videos, a Discord role, and I want to do a Patreon-only voted axe files, so you can all join together to force me to cover specific Jump manga if you'd like me to. For the $3 tier, you'll also get a little doodle, something similar to the author portraits you see in Jump's author comment section. This will also show up in the credits of all the videos too. I've thought about maybe having those people actually give me little casual or funny comments to add to the end of videos too, which could be fun. I'll have to figure out kind of how to do that. And some things will be subject to change, and I might add new incentives or new things to the Patreon. But in general, my videos won't change. I'll still be doing the history videos, I'll be doing monthly server voted axe files, and I'll be making things that I want to make. Patrons will get to vote and suggest new axe files now and then, which will be, I guess, the biggest change. For the future, I could make like higher tiers on Patreon as well if there's enough demand for it. There's this idea I have of maybe every month I'll read one chapter suggested by like a $5 tier patron or something, as an example, and I'll make a little podcast out of just giving my thoughts on any manga those people want me to read. That might be a Patreon exclusive thing, or maybe it'll just be patrons can suggest what I read and then that just comes out and people can just listen to me in the background or something. It'll be less edited and stuff. But yeah, if you like the sound of that, let me know. If you have any other ideas for that, or just want to tell me like your favorite video from this past year or something, that would be really cool. If you do want to support me, I'll leave a link to Patreon as well as the Discord down below. And this is the very first time I get to thank my patrons, because I've had a couple already. So thank you Kinucha, and thank you Cody. That's pretty much everything for now. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to be kind and take care.